Hi.
Welcome to For Time. I'm Marta.
I'm Robin. We're talking about something really exciting coming up this in a little over a month, our Find Your Flow series.
Yes, we are. Find Your Flow, for anyone who isn't familiar, is our yoga beginners workshop series. So it's a 5-week series, and there's 2 classes every week that meet on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and you get to learn all the ins and outs of yoga to get you started on a successful yoga practice.
That sounds exciting.
It is exciting.
Marta, though, what if I'm not good at yoga? What do I do?
Well, first of all, that sentence doesn't exist in yoga.
Okay, that's good to know. That's a good start.
So the thing about yoga compared to like what we do at the gym, and I don't know, I shouldn't even say that because everyone's fitness journey is very, very different, but yoga is very non-competitive, and being good at yoga is really just a state of mind. You don't show up to do the fanciest poses. You don't show up because you know everything in the class. It's really experiential between mind, body, and breath. And it's kind of like about getting out of your head and more into your body.
I love that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that feels like, with that in mind, like anyone can try this workshop series to get out of their head into their body and connect with their version of their yoga practice.
Yeah, I think a lot of times the big barrier for people to starting a yoga practice is they're like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, you call out all these names of poses, and I don't know what Warrior 2 is. I don't know what Tree Pose is. And oh my gosh, once they start speaking Sanskrit, it's like a whole nother language, and I definitely don't know what that is.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what's Vrikshasana? And it's like, well, a lot of people don't know that, and that's okay. So the great thing about this series is Stephanie Schrader, who leads it, she's a wonderful yoga teacher, has got a lot of experience. She really breaks things down every class period so that you go through the most common yoga poses that you're going to find in a class, in the way that we link them together in a class. And that gets you really familiar with what a standard class format is going to be like, so that hopefully when you come into a class, it's not like, what is happening around me right now? You can liken it to kind of going through like a CrossFit Foundations, or when we've done like boot camp to CrossFit Foundations. It's just learning the elements of yoga so that you feel comfortable coming into the room and not feeling like the lone person that doesn't know what's happening.
I love that. Okay. What if so what you said is really relatable to when I first started. Like, I didn't know a lot about yoga, and I did appreciate like being able to learn over time, like all of the pose names and everything. And now I'm here as a yoga teacher. And I know there are a lot of people in our community who do yoga classes already, but maybe would want to like explore a little bit more about their practice. Do you think this would be something that they could explore too?
Yeah, totally. So even if you're someone who's been doing yoga for a year or maybe just even a few months and you're like, this is really cool, but I think there's something else going on that I'm not quite familiar with. That sounds kind of cryptic and weird, and I try to avoid that because I think already yoga can feel cryptic and weird to some people. But when we talk about deeper levels, because yoga is very experiential, it's about becoming very, kind of forming like an intimate relationship with your body. So really like knowing what feels good for your body. It's about the art of enjoying feeling good in your body too. It's something we don't always allow ourselves. And this workshop is based a lot around functional movement too, which is nice. So it can really give you the opportunity to explore that a little deeper and pair that with some other layerings of yoga, such as how we breathe with our poses and the different types of breath that can help you have those experiences with your body a little bit more. And then if you really want to get deep, we do touch on some of the philosophical elements of yoga. So for those students who've maybe been practicing yoga for 3 to 6 months and they're interested in it, but they want to learn more about that, that's also a great reason to sign up. for this workshop.
I love that. Today I was doing the boot camp workout, and I even used like some breath practices that that I've learned through my yoga practice, and it's been really helpful to like have that access to knowledge even when I'm not practicing traditional like yoga asana on the mat. So I've found it useful as an athlete outside of the yoga studio, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that breath work in yoga, which is known as pranayama, breath work is it touches a lot of different points in our life, which I don't think people realize. I attribute a lot of my ability to breathe well during cardio exercises because I've done yoga for so long and my breathing capacity is really, really deep. I know I said you can't be good at yoga, but like I'm pretty good at controlling my breath, which does really help when I'm like going for a long run or I'm doing a long row or something. The ability to control your breath and steady it. It helps in like pacing workouts too, where you're going between a lot of different movements. It's a skill that translates into different areas of your life. Not to mention just like the stress reduction of it. When you're having like a stressful moment at work or maybe with your kids, like the ability to pause and find those ways that breathe that really help clear your mind are super beneficial.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I also love how this workshop is like with other people who are exploring the practice as well. So you're kind of in like community with people who are also either beginning their yoga journey or like curious and like-minded in that way. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's nice because the class is small. So like you're not, it's easy to get lost in a group of like 10 or more people, I think. But when you've got a group that's more like 6 individuals, there's that space where you can connect with other people nicely, get to know other people. And I do think it helps when you're starting something new to have the space to learn or to meet a new person, because then you can grow together and hold that accountability together as well. Accountability is really hard on your own. So when you find someone else that you connect with in a group, it's like, hey, like we're both doing this together. We can both figure this out together. And you look forward to seeing that person at the same time.
Totally. We've got cool people here.
We do have cool people here.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more, I've noticed in the last year since we've been at the Stutz, integration of members going between fitness and yoga, which I think is really, really nice. And I have frequently heard from some of the people who came here first for fitness that they are surprised by the benefits that they've received from doing yoga as well. Like some of the unexpected joys that you get out of it, because you just think, oh, I'm like going for flexibility or mobility, and that is awesome. That is, I think, often kind of like the gateway entry to yoga. But the calming effects that you can get from it are really, really helpful, especially we live in a world that is so chaotic. We don't always give ourselves time to slow down and just really get in touch with our bodies.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I love that last part where like I feel like that is most applicable and most accessible to most people outside of the studio and even outside of the fitness building. Like at the end of a long day in your bed, being able to like rest and reflect, like those are skills that are not only like useful but needed to have a sustainable life in this world of chatter and chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yoga has had amazing benefits for me I've been practicing now for, I have to think about how old I am, but like 18 years. 18 years, that's how long I've been practicing.
Yeah.
And it comes and goes in waves. Like there's times, I'm currently in like a very fitness heavy mode, I have to admit. I'm like kind of obsessed with it at the moment. But there's still elements that I take from my yoga practice that I'm very consistent with, like the meditation and the breathing, and those things keep me really steady and have greatly impacted and helped me get through difficult times in my life. So
I like that that you mentioned that like over the course of your long practice, it has like ebbed and flowed, and the different elements of yoga have come in and out, and like the things that you'll learn in this workshop can be applied to your goals wherever you are. So that it is a sustainable practice, and you're not like, I think we all think about when we're trying out yoga and we're not good at it, like those arm balances that we see on Instagram, but like that is not what it's about. And being able to use those tools that we're learning at the beginning of our practice to apply to our yoga practice 18 years later. I like have chills saying like that's so cool. Yeah.
When I first started out in yoga, I was like very much into doing all of the coolest stuff. That is still fun, but as I've gotten older and my life has changed, I'm much more like, you know what I need? I just really need to rest in yoga classes. So,
I hear that.
You know, it's kind of like the level method. There's different levels for your fitness, and there's like many different levels for your yoga as well.
I love it. Well, we will see you at Find Your Flow coming up shortly.
Thanks, Robin.
Thanks.